Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, Britt. I always love seeing you and everyone. Hi, Julie and Faye, Mary. Hi, Amber, Michelle, Jamie, Insight Timer. Welcome. I'm glad to be with you here today, as always. I'm joining from Bali, which I did already once. I've had a live stream or two already from Bali again. Hi, Liz, Ginger, welcome, Lillian. And excited to be bringing this topic to you again. We're going to be doing a book experiencing of the book There's Nothing Wrong with You Going Beyond Self-Hate by Cheri Huber. Hi, Andrea, J.E., Lillian. When I last lived in the U.S., I was in North Carolina, and actually in about a week will be my 11-year expat anniversary when I left the U.S. So, which I'm always very grateful to celebrate. March 23rd, 2013, I left. So, I have like two anniversaries of that sort. One is that one, and the other one is my Bali-versary. The first day I came to Bali, which my 10-year Bali-versary will be, I need to check, but I think it's like May 14th, 2014. So, Bali's on your bucket list. Awesome. I do retreats here in Bali. I've been here 10 years, off and on. So definitely an expert. So if you are new to me, please follow me here on Insight Timer. If you care to give a donation, you can do so through the app. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. You can follow me everywhere. You can catch my replays of all these live streams as well. So this series that we're doing, and I'm shuffling cards. You probably saw that. I've got all the replays for all of my live streams. And also, if you like this book series of There's Nothing Wrong with You and you want to listen back, that's available. And also trust that if you're joining me for the first time, that it's perfect and you're not missing anything or missing out or need to catch up. Hi, Jamie. We've got a couple Jamies here now. And you know what I invite you to intend here or play with in this time we have together now is that allowing this to be a space where there's nothing wrong for you with you. So watching and noticing if there's any context of right, wrong, good, bad, should, shouldn't that comes up during this live session. It could be in noticing your thoughts, maybe grading or judging how you're showing up, or maybe it's something that comes in from your outside world in the moment where there might be a context that wants to come up of good, bad, right, wrong, should, shouldn't, and release that just as a play, as an experiment. If anybody wants a PDF of the book There's Nothing Wrong with You, send me a message through Insight Timer or however you want to connect. I can send you the PDF. So what we're going to be doing is listening to an audio of the book. And if you want that link to that recording, you can also ask in a private message. And also, I just created a resource that I sent to my email newsletter participants last week that also is in line with this topic. It's a clearing exercise. And it was really powerful for me to practice a couple times a day. My own life coach invited me to do this, and I found it powerful, so I created my own resource and shared it. Where twice a day, I put a reminder in my phone and just took a few moments to check in with myself of any fears, worries, or concerns that I had. And of course, there's always something that the mind latches onto. And then looking at whatever that fear, worry, or concern was, looking at, was I in fact or interpretation or story about the fear, worry, or concern? And 99.9% of the time, it was a story. So my mind was in story and interpretation and believing the story, and it was never, the fear and worry and concern was not positive. So then from there is an invitation to look at, was I in, should or shouldn't have done something? Was I in a story of something's right or wrong or good or bad? And what I came to all the time was, at the end of it, was I was making myself wrong about something, or the mind was. And so the beauty of that is it's waking up from that dream, waking up from the conditioning and the illusion on top of the reality. And then I could choose differently. Like, oh, here's the story again. Making myself wrong again. Okay, I can release that. Without the story, what's left? XYZ. Without the fear, worry, or concern, what's left? Okay, I need to go here, I need to do this, etc. And then declaring my state of being and how I want to show up moving forward. I want to feel peace. I want to feel free. I want to feel joy. Okay, I can give myself that. And then, what was I doing? Was I texting somebody? Was I driving somewhere? Was I eating? Was I emailing? Was I creating something? Let me go back to whatever activity I was involved in now, coming from the state of being that I want to declare for myself. So this is a very simple and very powerful practice. So if you want the resource where I outline what I just told you, again, send me a message. I'll share that with you. So even before this live stream, I took a nap. And it's only 11 a.m. here in Bali. And I had got up very early, saw my friend off, Alicia Bliss. Y'all that follow me know. Me and Alicia came on for a live the other day. She's a teacher here on Insight Timer. You can give her a follow here as well. So she's leaving this morning from Bali. And we met this morning. And I came home and I just felt tired and like I wanted to take a nap. The old me would have made myself wrong for that. Like, it's 9:30 a.m. You can't take a nap right now. You have things to do, and you have a live stream at 11. Can anyone relate to any of this? So I saw that, and then it's like now, yes, it's always a journey, and also I saw way off in the background, like it's wrong, I shouldn't take a nap. But it was so, like, there was no energy around it. It was just more like a passing thought. But in the past, I really would have judged myself and made myself wrong that I would want to sleep at that time. And I don't do that anymore, and it's okay. Without the story, my body wanted to sleep. That's it. So, hi Con, good morning. So, we're going to be diving into this a bit more. I'll go ahead and draw a card. Just for advice, I like these Work Your Light cards because they're like advice. Tarot can give advice also. And I like also the Work Your Light gives like kind of outright advice. Hi Kiana, good evening. Hi Mishi, hi EI. Hello Jules, Arena, welcome. So, all sweet. Soul sisters. Okay. So the card for everyone here, and this is collective, is Starseed. What lights you up? Starseed. So what I'm getting for this card, for like the context in which we're meeting, the context of the topic of this live stream, is to remember the truth of what you are. If you believe that you are like a starseed in like a literal sense, or if it's just like we're souls in this human body having a human experience, whatever way you consider that to be, you can take that on. But it's looking at the fact that there's so much more here than the old conditioning and the old patterns. The premise of the book, There's Nothing Wrong with You, states that as children, we needed to be conditioned to show up in society, to obey rules, to be able to function. You know, don't color on the walls, don't lie, don't just wander out of the house and not tell anybody and go down the street and disappear. Don't, hit your sister. Don't bite other children. Like all of those things, which are fine and appropriate. And the problem comes in when the parents who were also raised in the same way make the child bad and wrong for those actions. So what we want to do is, first notice where are you making yourself wrong in your life, and do you see that likely it's all the time or a lot of the time. Hi Jennifer, nice to see you. And that, we come back to a place of remembering the truth. You are a being of light. If you're a literal starseed, or if you just believe you're a spiritual being having a human experience. What lights you up? Letting go of the conditioning of the past. Coming out of should, shouldn't, good, bad, right, and wrong. Coming into alignment. Coming into integrity. Integrity means our insides match our outsides. What does that look like for you? Does it look like speaking up? We just had a live stream on boundaries. Does it look like giving yourself a voice? Does it look like finally, writing that book, finally enrolling in that course, putting yourself back out there, dating? Excuse me. So what lights you up? Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get into starting to listen to the book, There's Nothing Wrong with You. As I said, I can share the link with you. If you send me a private message, I can share the PDF if you also reach out, or the clearing practice I just shared with you. Just send me a message. And what I invite you to do is, if you're not already, unplug from distractions to be with this information, so that you are like in a single-minded focus to receive this, to really let it sink in. And while we are listening, I'm going to be channeling Reiki to those who wish to receive it. You don't need to say anything if you want to or not, just have the intention. If you want to receive the Reiki that I will be channeling, then just think that in your mind that you want to receive, and you will. I'm going to play the recording until I feel to stop. It could be 1 minute or 1 hour. I mean, it won't be 1 hour, but just trusting that, we'll stop. We might even rewind, listen again. Because this material, so many of you have been on this live stream series before, so this is deep material. There's a lot to sink in, and so I may rewind it, or we may just discuss it. So, hi Angela, glad to have you. So, I'm going to go ahead and start. So, I invite you to come into a meditative listening space for this.
Or anything else. I don't think there's anything more important than my true nature. So, if something is coming between me and that, I'm going to sit still until it's no longer there. I'm simply going to sit down and sit still and keep coming back to what I know is true until there is nothing between me and that truth. I know when that is. We all know when that is. We all know that moment of oneness with our true nature, the peace, the joy, the comfort. We know when that's there, and we know when it's not. It's like discord in a relationship with someone I love. I'm going to turn my attention to that until that lack of harmony is gone, and peace, joy, and comfort are back. I don't say, I'll look at that later. I want to look at it now. I don't want to look at anything else until that's resolved. And I know the resolution of it is in here, in my heart. So I'm required to sit still with it. Self-hate is like quicksand. Everything you do to try to get out causes you to sink deeper. Every place you step to try to avoid the place you're in also pulls you down. In quicksand, if you stop struggling, you'll sink more slowly. In self-hate, when you stop struggling, when you accept, you're free. Compassion, no matter what. Student, lately I've been saying, okay, I have this need and I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to ask for what I want. So I do it, and my worst fears come true. People don't like what I said or did. My need is rejected. Then self-hate comes in and says, I warned you. But another voice that I haven't heard before says, but you did it. That's the important thing this time. It doesn't matter what happened afterwards. You did it. Guide. Yes, we see the self-hate patterns and we learn not to believe those voices. They aren't going to stop. They're going to continue. And they're going to hit a level heretofore unimagined. Because when you start trying to break this stuff up, it will escalate. When you start picking away at the foundation of egocentricity, it's going to use everything in the world to defend itself. We can count on that. It's when things are hardest and compassion is most needed that self-hate is strongest. Because if you could have compassion for yourself in a time when you really need it, can you imagine how the self-hate system would begin to shake and crumble? You can't have too many of those experiences without beginning to question whether all of this self-hate is actually accomplishing what it's saying it's intended to accomplish. That's why the answer is compassion no matter what. Now, what we say is that we can have compassion as long as it's not a really terrible thing we've done. But that's when we need the compassion most. Student, so if you've really blown it, done your worst, and all the self-hate voices come up, then the compassion needs to accept even those voices. Guide. When we stop seeing self-hating voices as powerful and see them as, at best, pathetic, we make the recipient of compassion the suffering human who has been so abused by those hateful voices. Willingness is
Okay. Deep breath. So it was starting out talking about meditation, which was the end of, what we were listening to the last time we met and listened to this topic about our true nature and experiencing our true nature. And then it was talking about the dismantling the foundation of this conditioning of egocentricity or self-hate, or the conditioning, deconditioning that. So it was saying that compassion is the key, that it gave an example. Somebody decides they're going to speak up for themselves, ask for what they need, their needs rejected, then the self-hate voice comes in. You shouldn't have said that, there it is again, I knew, blah, 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 like whatever the talk is. That those voices are going to be even louder because it's like trying to maintain its power. So when you start breaking these patterns, not believing the self-talk, applying compassion, there's going to be what appears to be a bigger backlash before, the foundation of it crumbles. Has anyone experienced that? When you make a big change, that it seems like things get worse before they get better? And actually what that reminds me of is the impetus for this entire series that we're doing here. And y'all that have followed me regularly know I went on a silent retreat in Thailand a few months ago, and I was very deeply disturbed at the talk in my head that was just full of self-hate, and the label of self-hate and all that entails. I had an idea of myself as a person on this journey, on this path, that's made progress, that helps others, that, is on here teaching these things. The egoic self-concept of me thought I was further along some path. And then when I went and got silent, it was just like the voices in my head of self-hate, self-loathing, judgment on everyone and everything. And I'm just sitting here at a silent retreat. Like, it was deafening. And then the self-hate came in and made myself very wrong, very overwhelmed. And then this book, which I'd read a couple years before, came back in like, wow, I see I'm making myself so damn wrong. Like, oh my gosh, this book popped in my head. There's nothing wrong with you. And I knew I need to go back to these ideas. And so I got the book back out, and I spent, the rest of that day reading this book. The thing is that conditioning, we are swimming in water. We don't know we're in water until we know we are in it. You can't get out of something that you don't know you're in. And I didn't know I was in to the level that I was. So it can be very overwhelming to first wake up and be, and I mean, it comes in stages, and I've been aware of it before, but not to that level. And it's just like, wow. And there's the invitation to not let the self-hate, the egocentricity, the making yourself wrong come in, because it'll come in and be like, oh my God, you're so fucked up. It's like, oh wow, isn't this interesting? Isn't this amazing? I can see this now. This is where the medicine of compassion that the book was just talking about comes in. It's going to attach everywhere, anywhere it can. It's like it's a parasite. So it may be worse before it gets better. And it's not even worse. It's not worse. It's the light of awareness showing clearly what was there that you didn't see as clear as you do now. So it's not that it's worse, it's the awareness that's there. So there's the invitation. Wow, okay. This is shadow work, really, at the deepest level. This stuff has been in shadow. The knowledge, the wisdom, the awareness brings it to light. We think, oh my God, this is something new, or I'm getting worse, or I didn't realize how fucked up I was, or whatever the self-hate thinking is. But it was there, waiting for you to be at this point on your journey to wake up and see it. And then there's the choice, and then there's the acceptance, and then there's the compassion. In every moment. It's not a one and done. It's a moment by moment practice, just like life. Life only occurs right here and now in this moment. We can't be in acceptance. We can't observe or see or have awareness yesterday or tomorrow or in 5 minutes. It's only here right now. Hi, DM, Arena. Hi, Lisa, Hannah, welcome. So glad that you are out of DV, Hannah. Jamie, thank you for sharing what you notice. Yeah, thank you, DM, for that insight. So, it can be overwhelming. When we get into overwhelm, that's a signal we're not present. Because overwhelm is in the mind, in the stories of the mind, in past and future, in the present moment now. Unless there's something happening in your immediate external circumstance that needs your attention, there's nothing to overwhelm. So, we'll continue listening. Again, if you've joined in after we've started, don't forget to follow me here, everywhere, give a donation. Hi, Tony. If you want to set up a one-on-one session with me, you can find out all you'd like to about that, the ways I work with people, etc., and all of those goodies if you choose. So, got 100 wonderful star seeds right now. Hi, Dawn. So even going back to that star seed card and that question, what lights you up? All of this self-hate, the judgment, the overwhelm, all of the conditioning, it doesn't light us up. It's out of alignment with our soul's true nature. We want to follow what lights us up. That's how we know we're on the path. That's our soul, that's our intuition, that's our divine guidance, that's our higher self, our inner being, whatever you want to call it, telling us clearly where to go. Overwhelm, self-hate, self-judgment, judgment of others, stories that don't serve us, none of that lights us up. Follow that inner light and inner guidance. So we'll come back to our meditative mindful listening space as I continue the audio of the book There's Nothing Wrong with You, and we'll continue channeling the Reiki to those who wish to receive as we take in this powerful information.
The key. Student. Something that has made a difference for me in understanding acceptance is realizing that things don't have to change for me to accept them. If something is happening, all I have to do is be willing to acknowledge that. And that is accepting it. It's not as if my acceptance or non-acceptance can change whether it happens or not. Guide. I can't make any of this happen, but I can show up and be available. To me, that's what sitting practice is. Constantly being willing to show up and be available. It's like having your hands open to receive. There's no guarantee that you're going to get anything, but if anybody wants to give you something, you're ready. Student. I'm not consistent or disciplined about sitting, but I am consistently willing to look at things and to use the world as a mirror in which to see my projections. When I look in that mirror, I see there are parts of myself I don't like and I'm afraid of. Guide. That's the crux of the whole thing. The basis of our practice is ending suffering. And in every moment we have the opportunity to see within us what is suffering. We can ask, what is outside the realm of compassion? What is not healed? And we can bring that into the healing light of compassion by simply acknowledging it, accepting it, allowing it. This is the kind of person I am. This exists in me. I feel this. I do this. I have these thoughts. I have these tendencies. The conditioned patterns of suffering would have us hide those so that they continue to exist outside of compassion. To the degree that we find the willingness to bring them into the light of compassion, they're healed. In that way, you can have all of you instead of only those things that the voices say are acceptable. You can be, you can experience, and you can have everything just being who you are in the moment. Student, although I know how joyful it is to have that happen, it's still terrifying to find another aspect of myself that I hadn't seen before. Guide. Yes, because egocentricity sees that as death. As long as there are those awful hidden things in you, self-hate can control your behavior. But when you're willing to acknowledge and accept, to let everything come into the light of day, self-hate no longer has any power over you. If I could have compassion, if I could love myself for hating myself, I would no longer be hating myself. I'd be loving myself. And nothing about me would need to change.
That's a really powerful quote. So I want to ask you all, where are you at with your relationship with compassion for yourself? Hi, Semastar, welcome. Hi, Laura. Hi, Nancy. Do you all find it, how easy or difficult do you find it to be compassionate and understanding towards yourself? Yeah, I feel like that last quote, if I could love myself for hating myself, I feel like that could be the key that like unlocks the door that crumbles the entire system. Who else feels that? If I could love myself for hating myself. So the PDF of this book is really cool and fun. It's like big font and like child like font, and I think they do that for like inner child stuff. So actually I have this screenshotted, this quote. It's, if you have the PDF, it's page 115, like on the actual page itself. If I could have compassion, love myself for hating myself, I would no longer be hating myself. I'd be loving myself and nothing about me would need to change. I mean, that's kind of a clusterfuck. So y'all read that. It might land better. But this is what the book looks like, some of the pages, and there's some drawings. But that's what she just said in the audio. So I feel like this is a really powerful key, because we hate ourselves, then we make ourselves wrong for that, and then we're just in that cycle again. So to break it, it said we've got to have this allowance, this acceptance of what is. We can't argue with reality. We can't shame ourselves or hate ourselves or blame ourselves into loving ourselves. If that worked, it would have worked decades ago, right? Yeah, great point, Lisa. So I've got a couple other screenshots that are a little bit further on in the future, but I want to read a couple of these because it's coming in. If you're not becoming kinder, gentler, more generous and loving, you're not doing this work. If you're feeling more burdened, judgmental, and rejected, you're doing self-hate. Self-hate uses self-improvement as self-maintenance. Self-hate uses self-improvement as self-maintenance. Does that land? Is that landing? As long as you're concerned about improving yourself, you'll always have a self to improve and you will always suffer. This right here, for those of us on the spiritual path and the self-development and personal development journey, and I see this in myself, of course, and also with my clients, some of my life coaching clients. I mean, pretty much everyone. Well, anyway, I'm getting into my head about that, so never mind. Not everyone. But how many of you feel like you're a project to be fixed and there's always some problem to be fixed within yourself, something to be solved, something to change, something to work on? Again, it's like within this whole paradigm structure. If you feel like you're a project to be fixed, you're in that structure. Self-hate uses self-improvement as self-maintenance. Self-hate keeps itself alive by needing to improve on the self. If there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing to improve. There's nothing wrong with you. And that will always create suffering. If there's something wrong, there's a judgment. Jennifer, so feeling sick physically and you know, doing your best, feeling that you're spiraling. Yeah, I mean, physical issues are challenging. And also, you know, there's always a place for peace, no matter what. Thanks, DM, for writing out some of the quotes. Yeah, and Lisa, about what energy would that free up? If we didn't have all this energy of just tied into this self-hate machine, wow. So Michael Singer talks about that. You know, we have all these samskaras. We have all of this old energy of things we resisted up in our lives up until now. It's sitting here. It's this mountain of energy that we are using energy to keep this stuff pushed down because we don't want to feel it. Wow. What if we allowed? What if we relaxed and released? What if we didn't resist all these sensations, emotions that are here? And then what if in the releasing of that, all of this got released? Then the Shakti would be able to flow instead of the Shakti being used to push and keep this stuff down. Wow, we would be in bliss. Hi, Deb. So this, it's like totally common. It's so common. Okay, we see the invitation. I need to be compassionate for myself. I see it. I can't access it. Oh, so I'm bad and wrong because I can't give myself compassion. There it is again. So one thing that this book has been really helpful for me, and I know, like, I can relate. Can anyone else relate to it being difficult to give yourself compassion? Can anyone not relate? Before jumping to the compassion piece, what the book, we just heard it, the acceptance and acknowledgement and acceptance of where we are. When you jump, and thanks for sharing this example, Deb, when you want to jump to self-compassion because you know it's the thing to do, we do that because we want to feel better. But when we try and have compassion to change the way we feel, it's like conditional and it's got strings. Because it's like, oh, I know I should be compassionate for myself and I know I would feel better if I did, but I don't feel it, then I feel worse. We're missing a step. The step that's missing is the acceptance. The invitation is we've got to come into what Tara Brach calls radical self-acceptance. Radical. And that's a wonderful book as well. And maybe that might be the book we do after this one because there's so many similarities in the messages. Radical self-acceptance. So Deb, you said you've been in an upheaval for 18 months. You get to come to a place where it's okay. It's got to be okay. There's no other place to go from this deep acceptance, and Jennifer being sick and everyone with, we've all got our own things. It's got to be okay. If we try and jump to compassion before we pause into an acceptance, it's going to be difficult. It's got to be okay. One of my favorite mantras or ideas that helps a lot, it's so simple and so profound, and y'all have heard me say it before. Can I be okay that I'm not okay? That's at the foundation. Can I be okay right now in this moment that I'm not okay? Doesn't matter, Jennifer said they've been sick for 3 weeks. Deb, over upheaval for 18 months. That's a story that's not real because it's not here and now in this moment. Those are thoughts and stories and interpretations. In this moment now, if I'm not okay, can I be okay that I'm not okay? In this moment, been sick for 18 months. Right now is the only thing that exists. The past 18 months only exists as thoughts in the mind. They aren't real. In this moment now, can I be okay that I'm not okay? Really, I'm not okay. And it's a feeling. It's a feeling state. It's not an answering the question in the mind. Yeah, I can be okay, but you don't feel anything in here. There's a deeper step. You'll feel it. Can I be okay that I'm not okay? Just now, here in this moment, without any story. Story is not here now. Story's real, not real. In this moment, whatever time it is, whatever place you're at. Can I be okay that I'm not okay? Yeah. In this millisecond. There's an opening. There's a relaxation. That's the acknowledgement of what's here and what is, and that's where the acceptance can come in. And then, okay, yeah, I'm not okay. Right now, I'm not okay. It's okay. Then the compassion, there's a place for the compassion to be. Yeah, I'm not okay, and it's okay. I'm here now. I have compassion for myself in this moment. It's been a rough 3 weeks, 18 months, 25 years, whatever. And right now, I'm not okay. Yeah. Yes, Laura, wonderful, loving acceptance, loving awareness. So Jack Kornfield, we've done meditation of his recently. Coming from a place of loving awareness. I have a client I've been coaching a few years now, and they had a really difficult time about a year ago with mental health, and it was intense. And that was what I gave them to hold on to. You're not okay in this moment now. Can you do your best to be okay that you're not okay? Yeah, J.E., that's a great question. Distinguishing self-improvement from learning and improving as a skill. So what is the skill? Is it playing an instrument? Is it noticing self-judgment? Is it not reacting? Is it not lashing out and saying hurtful things to others? Is it having more patience? When you come back to out of story, Eckhart Tolle, this is one of his basic teachings. You know, the present moment is the only thing that exists. Anything else are thoughts in the minds of past or future. Are you in past or are you in future? The present moment will show us what it's asking for. If it's asking for me to, if I'm learning to play a piano and I'm playing scales and I'm practicing, then I'm being with that experience in that moment and practicing my best. If it's, I'm outside and there's traffic and I notice an energy of frustration or impatience within me, I'm not coming from a place that I'm wrong and I need fixed. I'm coming from a place of, oh, there's this energy inside. There's these thoughts. There's these judgments. how can I work with myself right here and now in this moment with what's here? To me, that's not about that I'm broken or there's something wrong. It's about working with the moment unfolding in front of me to the best of my ability. And I don't know, like, that's my thoughts. Maybe somebody else has something different. I don't pretend to have all the answers. So that's a great question. Thanks, DM. Hi, Nikki. Welcome. So we're not going to listen to any more of the recording today. And I will bookmark this and we'll start next time. I think what my mind is making up the answer to be is that when we come out of the context of should or shouldn't, I should be doing this or I shouldn't be doing this in the moment, it's good that I'm doing this, or it's bad that I'm not doing it, or good that I'm doing it, or it's right, I'm doing it right, I'm doing it good enough, or I'm wrong and I'm doing it bad and I'm not good enough. When you come out of all of that context and interpretation and story with whatever the thing is that you're being, looking at doing in the moment, then you're not in that self-improvement, self-maintenance, self-hate cycle. Hi, Kendra. The name of the book is There's Nothing Wrong with You Going Beyond Self-Hate. So if anybody's missed this earlier, like joining in, I can share, if you send me a message, the audio link. I can share the free PDF of the book. I can also share a powerful clearing exercise that I talked about earlier that can help you with all of this that I just was referencing now about coming out of the context of good, bad, right, wrong, should, shouldn't. Yes. So follow me here on Insight Timer. Give a donation if you'd like. These replays are all available on my YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Check out my website. See what I offer. If you vibe with me and my energy, if you want to go deeper in working with me one-on-one, send me a message. We can discuss the possibilities of that. I don't work with everybody. I do have complimentary calls, like if somebody's never had a call with me, that we can see if there's something there, we might be a good fit for coaching. I also do Reiki Ancestral Clearing and tarot readings individually. So, yep, you want to dive deeper, y'all know what to do. I also have a group here, Natalie's Healing Circle on Insight Timer. You can make announcements, connect in the chat, meditation recommendations. I also have a ton of meditations here in the free section and one premium track. I'm actually putting the final touches on a new meditation called Total Surrender that's inspired by Michael Singer. So stay tuned for that. Wonderful, Deb. So glad that you are here and everybody who's joined in. I will be live again in like less than 24 hours for our fun and powerful Saturday night live session that we do every week. I draw cards. It's always fun, always powerful. I do Reiki and Ancestral Clearing. And don't forget the truth of who you are. You're a star seed. That's why this conditioning feels like shit. basically, because it's not the truth of who you are. Ask yourself the question, what lights you up? Whatever doesn't light you up, whatever thoughts don't light you up, don't believe those thoughts. Don't give power to those thoughts anymore. That's the self-hate system. Yes, so stay tuned. I will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, and much love from Bali. Bye-bye.